So this is your first big action film. How did you get involved with this project?
Well, Doug and Tom approached me for it, and I read the script, and I thought, how amazing when I read that introduction of the character, which was, this is Rita Vrataski, aka the Full Metal. And I just thought, yes, it's just, you're so relieved not to be the doe-eyed damsel in distress in an action movie. And what two better people to do it with than Doug and Tom, because Doug carves out new space for himself within any genre, and he just finds such humanity on a big scale. And Tom is an action hero, and he's a veteran of it, but he also is a great character actor, and there's such diversity of roles that he's managed to portray over the years, and so it was wonderful doing it with these two guys.
Can you describe the premise of the story?
It's so hard to pitch it quickly. Basically, Tom Cruise plays William Cage, and he's a major, but he's sort of schmoozed his way to the top rather than ever having to be on the front lines. And he's the head of public relations for the United Defense Force. And through a series of unfortunate events, he tries to blackmail the general. He ends up on the front lines. And this is his worst nightmare. He doesn't know how to fight. He's terrified of the sight of blood. He's useless in combat. And he inherits the aliens' ability to reset the day when he gets killed by them. And so this is how the aliens are winning the war. Whenever they die, they can reset the day, change tactics, change strategies. So Tom's character is caught in this horrific time loop, and he basically brings on my character's help in order to train him, because it's so not in his fabric to be this guy. And my character also had the power at one point, so she fully understands what he's going through, and it kind of unites them on this amazing journey they go on.
Now, there's a lot of action in this film, a lot of physical action. How did you prepare months in advance? Did you have any kind of special training that you did for yourself?
I did lots of training. I trained for a few months in advance. I was aware that it was going to be a very challenging shoot, and Tom had said, oh, this is the deep end of action, and it is my first action movie. So I was like, oh, God. So I did every form of workout I could think of. It was like 6 days a week, 2.5 hours a day, all kinds of different things, from martial arts to gymnastics to weight training. And then I learned all of the stunts once I came to London. So the prep was huge, but I wanted it to be a transformative role. I knew what was required of the character. I wanted her to look lethal. And so I was kind of willing to go all the way.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
So, speaking of Tom, I'm sure it was quite amazing working with him. Can you tell a little bit about what he brought to the whole creative process and of the shooting?
Well, he's just, it never ends, the positivity and the hardworking aspect of how he approaches a film, and he loves cinema. He just loves movies and loves the process, and so it's quite an infectious thing to be around, and he really strives for everything to be the best that it can be. And so late at night we'd work on the script, and then the next day we'd shoot it, and then again late at night we'd work on the scenes for the next day, and just to make it as complex and character driven as possible, so that it wasn't derivative of other action movies. And he's wonderful like that, and very generous to me, as somebody who was such a novice to these kind of things. He was so cool, making sure I was all right.
And I would imagine the same with Doug, who was great to work with. Did he have a collaborative spirit on set?
Doug is so collaborative, and he's so spontaneous, and I love that his films don't have a sort of gloss to them. They have a sort of messiness and a humanity that people really can access and relate to, and even on a huge scale like this backdrop of an action movie. But he's great because the best idea wins with Doug. He doesn't have an ego. He doesn't think in those terms. There's not a sense of diplomacy with him that gets in the way of getting things done. He's very direct. He's incredibly sweet. And we all became really close on it, because it was a battle to get through some of the days. It was a very, very difficult shoot. And Doug was tireless in it, tireless.
Now, shooting some of the scenes with the aliens, which I'm sure there was a lot of special effects there. Did you have any reference as to when you were fighting these aliens? Were you given any reference to?
Yeah, we had like laser points on green screen, or we sometimes had guys who would literally dress in a green screen body sock, head to toe, and be like little lizards running back and forth. And then occasionally Doug, who was the most uninhibited person I've ever met, would just be running across our eye line going, "Mimic!" like that, and we'd follow him. You know, there was a range of different eye lines.
That's fantastic. So my last question would be, if an alien invasion hit us of that enormity, like the film, do you think you would fight?
I'd have to now. I've learned how to fight. I'd have to.
Yeah, and you're very good at it. It's a great film.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so
Thank
good.
you.
So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.